We did not wait for the West to feed us. We turned to our land, to millet, to our roots. Today, Burkina Faso leads Africa in millet production, not by chance, but by choice. This is proof that our future lies in our own hands, our own soil, and our own people.
In the heart of West Africa, a quiet revolution is unfolding. A revolution not fought with weapons, but with seeds, soil, and sun. Burkina Faso, a nation once underestimated on a global stage, is now leading the charge in one of the most critical sectors of African survival and sovereignty, food production. That's right, AfricVibe News family, Burkina Faso has officially become the largest producer of millet in all of Africa. A nation known more for its resilience in conflict is now being recognized for a far more powerful weapon: agricultural innovation. But how did this landlocked country, often plagued by drought and instability, rise to dominate a sector so vital to food security across the Sahel and beyond? This isn't just a story about farming, it's about economic independence, climate resilience, community empowerment, and a president who dared to prioritize the people over foreign imports. Stay tuned as we take you deep into the fields of Burkina Faso, where farmers are turning dust into gold, and find out why this tiny grain called millet might just be Africa's golden ticket to food sovereignty. Millet is small, round, and often overlooked. It is one of the oldest cultivated grains in human history. For centuries, it's been the lifeblood of communities across Africa, especially in the dry Sahel region. In Burkina Faso, millet is more than food, it's culture, survival, and now a global headline. What makes millet so special? It grows in harsh, dry climates where other crops fail. It requires minimal water and thrives even during prolonged droughts. It's rich in protein, fiber, and essential minerals like magnesium and iron. And most importantly, it's 100% locally sustainable. For years, millet played a background role in Burkina Faso's food chain, used to make a thick porridge and dolo, the popular millet beer. But recently, something changed. Burkina Faso shifted focus from importing foreign food aid to maximizing its own indigenous crops, and millet, the grain of the people, took center stage. When Captain Ibrahim Traoré took the reins of Burkina Faso in 2022, many expected reforms in security and governance, but few anticipated an agricultural renaissance. Yet, under his watchful eye, Burkina Faso launched its boldest food strategy in modern history, putting local farming at the heart of national development. One of his key policies: feed the nation with what grows in our soil, not what arrives in foreign aid bags. This wasn't just a slogan, it was a call to arms for farmers, youth, and innovators across the country. Government subsidies were redirected to provide climate-resilient millet seeds, launch training centers for young farmers, equip rural cooperatives with irrigation tools, and mechanized threshers, built storage facilities to prevent post-harvest losses. Within just 2 years, millet production soared by over 40%, pushing Burkina Faso past Nigeria, Niger, and Mali to become Africa's leading millet producer by volume. We traveled to Kaya, Dori, and Ouagadougou regions, once known for food shortages, but now buzzing with millet harvests. Farmer interview: Mariam Ouedraogo, 52. Before, we relied on imported rice, but rice doesn't grow well here. Now, my children eat millet every day, and we even sell some at the market. Young entrepreneur is a Zongo, 27. I started a small millet flour business. With just one grinding machine and women from my village, we now supply to stores in Ouagadougou. This is our economy, not theirs. These stories are not isolated. Across the nation, over 800,000 hectares of farmland have been converted to millet production. Yields have doubled with modern techniques, and for the first time, Burkina Faso is exporting millet to neighboring countries. It's not just about growing millet, it's about processing it, packaging it, and profiting from it. With support from local cooperatives, government programs, and Pan-African partnerships, Burkina Faso is developing millet flour mills, snack production factories, nutritional supplements for schools and hospitals, millet beer breweries for domestic and export markets. By doing this, entire rural economies are being reborn, especially empowering women and youth. In a world dominated by imported wheat and rice, Burkina Faso is rewriting the rules by championing its own grain, and it's working. Climate change is devastating global agriculture, especially in Africa. Crops like maize and wheat are suffering, but millet is fighting back. Experts from the UN, African Development Bank, and ECOWAS are calling Burkina Faso's millet model a template for climate-resilient agriculture. Countries like Chad, Senegal, and Ethiopia are now sending delegations to learn from Burkina Faso. Traoré's administration is even proposing a Sahelian millet belt to secure food sovereignty across West Africa. Burkina Faso isn't just feeding itself, it's teaching others to do the same. Today, Burkina Faso exports millet to Mali, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Benin, and even small amounts to Europe through diaspora connections. Millet is being branded as Burkina Gold, and farmers are now part of a multi-million-dollar export chain. Government records show millet exports brought in over $80 million in revenue in 2024 alone, a record high. This is money going directly to communities, not foreign corporations. Economists incite, if managed well, millet could become for Burkina Faso what cocoa is to Ghana or oil to Nigeria. With the rise of millet, Burkina Faso is seeing more than economic gains, it's experiencing a cultural revival. Traditional recipes are making a comeback. Local restaurants are serving millet-based meals, chefs are competing in millet cook-offs, and youth are proudly wearing millet-themed designs in fashion festivals. Millet is no longer the grain of poverty, it's the grain of pride. Universities like Universite Nasiboni and Ouagadougou Polytechnic are now offering agriculture programs focused entirely on millet science. Burkina Faso has established its first millet research and innovation center dedicated to improving seed resilience, innovating pest control methods, enhancing millet nutritional value. President Traoré has even suggested hosting the first Pan-African Millet Summit in Ouagadougou in 2026. Burkina Faso isn't just growing millet, it's leading the future of millet science. The success of Burkina Faso carries a message for the rest of Africa. The answers to our hunger, poverty, and dependence are not across the ocean, they are beneath our feet. As nations scramble for food security in an age of climate crisis, Burkina Faso is proving that homegrown solutions are not only possible, they are powerful. With millet as its champion, this small West African nation is now a giant in agricultural leadership. AfricVibe News salutes the farmers, innovators, and visionaries of Burkina Faso. You've shown Africa and the world that greatness can grow from the ground. If you found this story inspiring, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to AfricVibe News, share this video with someone who still thinks Africa can't feed itself, because from the dusty plains of Burkina Faso, a new narrative is sprouting and it's powered by millet. AfricVibe News, telling Africa's story the African way.